11 horses vying for the last points to gain for the Kentucky Derby. Who's going to win? We'll find out as we walk through the Lexington. Trust the profits as we're talking through the Lexington Stakes today, 2023 Lexington Stakes. Check out our tip sheets. Hit the join button, see the options. That's what the tip sheet looks like. Moving on. We'll be running at Keeneland, April 15th, 2023 for the Lexington Stakes. It is a field of 11. It is a grade 3 race, 8.5 furlongs, 1 mile, and a 16th. So we're shortening it up a little bit here. Not as much of a challenge as some of these 9 furlongs and 9.5 furlong races that we've been seeing. So who's in this field? Who's vying for those last few points? Baseline beater, ninth at the Louisiana Derby, hung out in 12th, improved to ninth. Not much to show there. Didn't like, didn't really like him before. Going into Louisiana Derby, felt like I was in the right in saying he was an insta toss. I'm gonna say he's an insta toss here. Reinvest, 2 races, 2 wins lifetime, undefeated. Yes. Won a 1 mile, 40-yard race, an AOC 75K at Tampa Bay. Also won his maiden races, first time out, 1 length over City Humor there. Looked good. Is he going to be outclassed here, though? Possibly, possibly. Even though this is the Lexington, it's not exactly the Louisiana Derby, the Florida Derby, those huge races. I still think that Reinvest might be a little bit outclassed here, might be a little green. Demolition Duke, Brad Cox horse. We've got a few horses in this race that are a little bit on the young side, um, getting their first taste of a stakes race, a graded stakes race for that matter. Demolition Duke being one of those. He's had 2 races at fairgrounds in his short career. Last one, he lost by a neck to Bishop's Bay, a horse I'm a little bit surprised wasn't entered in this race. Maybe there's a reason for that that I am not aware of right now. But yeah, he lost by a neck to Bishop's Bay. Closed out nicely in that race, and I thought looking at the replay, if it would have gone for 8.5 furlongs, if it would have gone for 9 furlongs, I wouldn't be surprised if Demolition Duke would have won that race. Um, First time out, 6 furlong race. He won by 3 lengths over Megatron's Muse, Megatron, someone's Muse. Um, yeah, Demolition Duke, another Brad Cox horse here, and not the last one, as we're also talking about Transect, not the next Brad Cox horse yet. Transect, 2 wins in 3 races. First 2 times out, got 2 wins at Turfway Park, including an allowance claiming race, 50K, 6.5 furlongs over Gold Luck. Last time out, he ran in the Gotham, looked very much out of place. Came in 11th place. It was the weird race though, with the horse in the lead, whose rider was unseated. Um, Never made it out of the back of the pack though, finishing 18 lengths behind the winner. So can't really use it being a weird race. This is main excuse here. Distance possibly a concern because he was racing 6 furlong races before that. Tapita versus Dirt being a concern because he was at Turfway, had great success there, and didn't really see it at Aqueduct. So Transect, I'm going to say unlikely. First Mission. Here's your next Brad Cox horse. 1-1 in 2 races, first and a second. Last time out, exceptional win in his maiden, going 8.5 furlongs at Fairgrounds, winning by 6 3/4 lengths, wiring a field of 10. Previous to that, he was defeated by Bishop's Bay, the horse I talked about before, that I'm a little bit surprised is not in this race. Defeated by Bishop's Bay in a 6 furlong maiden race. Luis Saez gets the mount here, First Mission. Obviously, we talked about a few horses classing up here, got through their first couple races, and they're seeing their first graded stakes. I think First Mission might be the classiest of that bunch. Disarm, second. I'm going to have to check that again. Disarm, second at the Louisiana Derby. That's right. To Kingsbarns, 3.5 lengths behind in that race. Kingsbarns did put on a show there, and Disarm was a bit far back in that one, but second place nonetheless. Broke his maiden at Saratoga, going 7 furlongs, winning by 6.25 lengths in August of last year. Just had the one race previous to Louisiana Derby. Um, Yeah, 100K, losing by 4 lengths to Two Eagles River, had the long layoff, but looked pretty good at Louisiana. So I think Disarm here, when you talk about this field of also rans last chance racers here, I think Disarm probably going to be the post time favorite, probably going to be the morning line favorite at the very least for Steve Asmussen. So Disarm, yeah, going into this is probably going to be the horse to watch. Dennington. Whew, yeah, what do we say about Dennington? 9 races. I mean, it feels like he's been around forever. He's been around as long competing to get into the Derby since Loggins was competing to get into the Derby. But really, when you talk about his last race, Louisiana Derby, finishing 10th, 11 lengths behind Kings Barnes, never getting out of the back of the pack there, I would say Dennington probably not a threat here. I mean, previous to that, he did win an allowance race at 8.5, but before that, if you talk about his previous stakes races, it looks like he's getting outclassed here. Fourth place finish in LeCompte, which wasn't a hugely deep, talented pool. Talent, yes, but it wasn't deep. There were 7 horses in that race. The Smarty Jones, third place there. So yeah, Dennington, I'm going to take a pass. I know this is your last chance here, maybe trying to show a little something extra, but not buying into it. Empire Strikes Fast. One race, one race, but 8.5 furlongs. So he's showing the distance, winning by 3.25 lengths over Dreamlike. I mean, that is a fairly considerable win. Dreamlike, the Pletcher horse that got second in the wood last week. Empire Strikes Fast, wired in that race, stretched it out at the end a little bit. I think he was ahead by about half a length, stretched it out to 3/4 by the end. Not lightning fast, but again, it was his first race. It was a maiden race. This being his second race, graded stakes. Is he up to the challenge? The Wilmot horse here. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Empire Strikes Fast. Curly, Larry, and Mo. 6 races, 1-1 and 0. Last 4 races were on turf. We're talking about a turf horse here. 2 of them were at Keeneland, but again, we're talking about being on turf here. Completely different situation. One of them was the BC Juvenile turf. Got the lead early on, faded to 14th. In lesser races, has fared better, dashing out to the front, including a 100K maiden victory in October at Keeneland. This is a pure turf rabbit. Probably going to be the pace setter here. Horse, you look at the racing form, wants to get out in the front. You see a lot of ones there early on in the race for Curly, Larry, and Mo. Don't be surprised if this is your pace setter. I have doubts over whether he's going to be the winner, but could be a factor in the end here. Prairie Hawk. 5 races, 2 wins. Ran in both the Sam Davis and the Tampa Bay Derby, showing improvement in the Tampa Bay Derby, losing a Tapit Trice by 4 3/4 lengths. Fourth place finish there, final time of 143. 2 wins previous to that at Tampa Bay, both 1 mile and 40 yards. A horse that likes to be on the pace, and one that in this field I feel like he could actually factor in. I mean, this might be the right type of race here for Prairie Hawk. Might be the right field and grouping for him. And finally, Arabian Lion. Hmm. Fourth place at the Robert Lewis. Doesn't sound so bad, but that's last place at the Robert Lewis. A pretty weak race. That was the last time we saw him. Before that, fifth place at the Los Alamitos Futurity. Again, last place, I believe, in that race. I mean, we're talking about some pretty small races here. He lost a practical move in that one. This horse just hasn't looked good at the distance. It's a Bob Baffert horse. You would expect this one to be a rabbit to get out there to the front and keep pounding away until the bitter end. But this so far has not been one of Baffert's elite horses. I feel like this year, Arabian Night, Cave Rock, those are the 2 Baffert elites, and they fell off the Derby trail. Everything after that, I feel like has been his second and third tier. Arabian Lion, I think this is maybe fifth or sixth tier for Baffert here. I'm curious to see if this horse has matured, but I am not going to bet on it. So, what's the strategy here? We talked about Disarm being the obvious choice. That is the safe pick. I think if you're going to play a value play, First Mission. I'm curious to see, since this is a Brad Cox horse, if there is a run on First Mission, and also what the morning line is going to be, because I'm not aware of what the morning line is yet. But I would say Disarm is probably going to be the morning line favorite. First Mission, I think maybe you get some value there. Maybe someone jumps on Arabian Lion and First Mission gets pushed to the side and get a value on him. If we're going to talk about a key, I think Disarm is the safe pick. Adding in First Mission, Prairie Hawk, and Empire Strikes Fast, I think I liked what I've seen from that Wilmot horse so far. In this field, I think he could do some damage. I don't like Arabian Night that much. Dennington, we're going to take a pass on. And I think the other horse that could do damage here is the other uh, Demolition Duke, the other Brad Cox horse. That's another one that I think could sneak in here as well. But I'm going to state right now my four: Disarm, First Mission, Prairie Hawk, and Empire Strikes Fast. So there you have it, Profits fans. That is the last full field rundown of the Derby preps, because it's the last Derby prep of the season. After this, we got the Kentucky Derby. So what did you think? Tell us what you think in the comments. Let us know if you agree. Let us know if you disagree. Who are your top three, top four? Who's going to win? Thank you very much. Hit that subscribe button and see you later.